Well, if you just mention the phrase coal mining, it won't take very long to get some negative comments or even dirty looks coming your way. But is coal mining necessarily always a bad thing? Besides the cons, are there some pros? Well, today's guests are going to share an interesting perspective. Joining me today from the Crowsnest Pass in southern Alberta are Carmen and Troy Linderman. Carmen is the Director of Citizens Supportive of Crowsnest Pass. So welcome to Bridge City News, you two. Thanks so much for being here. Great to have you on today.
Thanks for having us.
Oh,
Thank you.
absolutely. Okay, so maybe why don't we start off by having you give an overview of what your organization is about and what it's hoping to accomplish?
So, we're a nonprofit organization that supports metallurgical coal mining in our area. We're made up of local citizens, and we think that with responsible mining and modern mining techniques, that we can mine our resources responsibly, and our town could benefit from it. So we live in the area. We love the area. We wouldn't want to see anything bad happen to it. My grandkids swim in the rivers, and so yeah, we're supportive. We think we can do it responsibly.
Okay, interesting. So I believe you want viewers to understand that you're not planning on developing a whole new coal mine, right? But rather just restarting an abandoned coal mine.
Right. Grassy Mountain was abandoned about 60 years ago, and it never ever did get reclaimed. So our hopes is we can mine what's left of the met coal there. Met coal is used for making steel. And if we can do that responsibly, it will actually get reclaimed.
Okay, well, I believe we have some drone footage of the actual abandoned coal mine, and I think that this might help viewers get a better idea of what the situation is out there, but maybe talk a little bit about Grassy Mine.
Yeah, so it's not pristine wilderness by no means. Like I say, it's an old coal mine, and it holds world class, some of the best metallurgical coal in the world. And if they mine it, the company that mines it is responsible for doing the reclamation, so it would get cleaned up, and then that, yeah, land would become usable again.
Okay, and also this isn't a thermal coal mine for use for fuel, right? But a metallurgical coal, like you said, to be used to produce steel. So why is this an important difference, Carmen?
There's two completely different uses for metallurgical coal, or steel making coal is what it's commonly referred to as, and thermal coal. Thermal coal is used for fuel. It's used for generating power. Metallurgical coal, as Carmen has stated, is used for making steel. And one of the biggest differences is that with thermal coal, or energy producing coal, there's alternatives. There's natural gas, there's solar, there's wind power. For making steel, there really is no alternative. Metallurgical coal needs to be mixed with iron ore to create steel, and the demand for world steel is only going up, and the supply of metallurgical coal is going down. So you could see a problem coming. So we support this on those bases, and on the basis of the reclamation and the benefits to the community.
Okay, well, you spoke of benefits. So what are the benefits of a coal mine rather, to a community like the Crowsnest Pass?
Well, I think it'll revitalize our community. It'll provide high-paying jobs, mortgage-paying jobs, which is really important. It'll provide our youth with opportunities for, like there's lots of things that go into a coal mine. It's not just truck drivers. So there's electricians, there's mechanics, environmentalists, so it'll provide our youth and local and surrounding area with opportunities to have those jobs. It'll lower our taxes, and also it'll attract families to our community. We're a community of the elderly. So we have a lot of elderly folks here, and yeah, it would be nice to have our kids, a reason for our kids to stay.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. So how many jobs do you estimate this could bring to the pass, including spin-off jobs?
Well, I believe it'll be hundreds of jobs. So, like I say, there's all sorts of different jobs that go in with mining, and then there's the service companies that you need, and you know, vehicle rentals and fuel, and you want to expand?
I think one of the biggest pieces is the infrastructure needed to support something like this. It'll be a very big benefit to the Crowsnest Pass to get that infrastructure. Because currently, I believe our infrastructure is lacking or is dated, and that in itself spins off jobs, and that infrastructure can be used for other industries as well, like tourism. So, I think Carmen's correct. It will be in the hundreds. There'll be a construction phase, which will be hundreds for sure. And then once the mine starts operating, I think even in the mine itself will be close to 300, and then the spin-off jobs, like she stated.
Mm-hmm. And there will certainly be obviously some questions raised as to what kind of impact it will have on the water supply and carbon emissions. So how would you address those concerns?
So the government sets the standards on what's allowable, and anything outside those standards gets shut down, right? So they have to mine it responsibly. And today we're global leaders in resource extraction in Canada, in Alberta, right? So it's better, like Troy was saying, we need the met coal. It's better that we get it from here versus somewhere else where they don't have those environmental standards. I read an article the other day about kids mining coal in Iran. It's heartbreaking, right? When you think about that, and the need for the met coal is it's there. It's going to come from somewhere. So why don't we do it where we can do it responsibly?
Yeah, it's true. And I think sometimes we forget that coal in Alberta is actually produced in an ethical manner, right? As compared to some of these other mining companies in other parts of the world. And like you said, where they use child labor in some of those instances, that is heartbreaking. Yeah. So one angle that your website brings up is that our neighbors to the west, British Columbia, produce far, far more coal than Alberta does.
They sure do. They are blessed with high quality metallurgical coal as well. And the deposits are very similar, and it's one of the top 5 in the world. So it is a very high quality burning coal for making steel. And they're just on the other side of the continental divide here, and they can do it responsibly. And they've shown that. And of course, they're always improving technologies, and there's no reason why in Alberta we can't be benefiting from this as well. With, again, like Carmen stated, with the technology, the modern mining techniques, the regulations, we can get that high quality metallurgical coal out of the ground.
So what about concerns that coal mining could negatively affect tourism, like the landscape and the wildlife, or is that not a concern at all?
Well, where it sits right now is unabandoned coal mines. So nobody's using, well, it's private property actually. So I mean, nobody's recreating up there. It's definitely needs to be cleaned up. So we have an abundance of trails, and we have a ski hill. There's a park just to the south of us, and um,
There's no reason they can't coexist. And again, we mentioned the infrastructure in the Crowsnest Pass is a little bit lacking, where we think this is a huge opportunity for a company to come in and build this, but then not only that, build the infrastructure to support things like tourism. We love, we love having people come and visit our community. We have for many years. I've lived here my whole life, but we need more of that infrastructure in place to support the more people coming. And unfortunately, it's lacking, and it's very expensive to implement. So we need that community support. They need to coexist. There needs to be a balance to other industry like tourism and this mine.
So to any degree, would there be dust and noise impacting the surrounding communities, do you think?
well, again, I think that goes back to the rules and regulations that the government sets out, that they have to abide by certain standards, dust, noise, environmental, and if they don't do it, then
And
they
it's
get shut down. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So what do you say to those who might be concerned about land reclamation?
So I think this is a real big opportunity to actually fix a wrong that happened 50 to 60 years ago. I think with modern mining techniques and modern environmental practices and reclamation practices, this could be a real positive. At the end of the day, we believe, or we've been advised that they will reclaim land as they disrupt it, and it's already disrupted. So this this could be a real positive. And then as well, so it's shown, that some of the best wildlife and recreation areas are on previously mined or used industrial sites. So we're actually excited that in at the end of this mine, we'll have an area that is really good for recreating and for wildlife.
You
No.
look at what they're doing up in northern Alberta. I mean, they're bringing bison back, and it's beautiful. You can't even tell that it was a reclaimed site. So
Wow. No, that's interesting. I think it's important to know also what kind of support you're getting from the residents of Crowsnest Pass and the surrounding communities. So what is that looking like?
so I do the markets every week, the farmers markets. I have a little booth there, and I can say personally that there is overwhelming support in the Crowsnest Pass. I did a trade show in Pincher Creek last weekend, weekend before, and we were surprised about the amount of support that we had there as well. It was mostly positive. Like, there's a couple people that are nervous about the mine coming in or a drilling program, but yeah, overwhelmingly supportive for sure.
Okay. And are you also getting support from municipal and provincial politicians?
Our municipal government is supportive of a responsible mine, and we hope that our provincial government is the same.
Okay. If any viewers wanted to join in with your vision, how would they go about doing that?
So you could go onto our website. We encourage you to check it out. It's crowsnestcoal.org. You can sign up on there and receive our emails, newsletters, updates, and yeah, if you would like to become an active member in our group, send us an email and we'll be in contact.
All right. So what's the next step then for you guys as far as moving forward with this?
Well, we're just going to keep on supporting the process, and hopefully we'll get an outcome of a responsible metallurgical coal mine.
One of the biggest pieces is getting the accurate information out, which is readily available. There's on our website there is a lot of really good information out there. So we encourage people, and many of the people we saw in Pincher Creek, they were unsure, but they wanted more information, which was really encouraging. So we advise the same, like get informed about it from good information sources, and we're going to be there trying to support this in our communities and with government and doing interviews like this. That's why we appreciate it.
Not many people know that it's a old abandoned coal mine. Not many people know the difference between metallurgical coal and thermal coal as well. So it's important to know those differences.
True. Information and education are the key to that. Absolutely. You mentioned that it's on private property. Do you know the owner? Have you talked to them about sort of purchasing that or working with them for this?
Well, the owner of the property is Northback. They own that property. Our group supports any industry that wants to come to the Crowsnest Pass because we truly believe we need it, and they've given us the opportunity to go out for tours and stuff and see what it's really like up there.
Okay. Have they actually started the process yet, or are you just kind of in a holding pattern right now, waiting?
We're waiting. The Northback's waiting on a drilling program, exploration program.
Okay. And do you have to sort of get the green flag then, or the green light from the province?
From the Alberta Energy Regulator, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, thanks so much for being with us today, Carmen and Troy. Very interesting conversation there.
Thank you so much for having us.
Carmen and Troy Linderman are part of Citizens Supportive of Crowsnest Coal. Great to have you on today.